Welcome to Real Talk with Sterling Real Estate Group, your go-to podcast for all things real estate related. Each episode, we break down the latest market trends, share insider tips, and bring in local industry experts to offer valuable insights that empower your journey. Whether you're buying, selling, building, or investing, we're here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape with clarity and confidence. Let's get real about real estate. Hi, and welcome to Real Talk at Sterling Real Estate Group. And today I'm very excited to welcome my friend Julie Maleski Putzel of JMP Interiors. Hi, Julie, and welcome.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks so much for having me here. It's always a blast when we get together.
I know. And you just walked in, right? You walked in one day to bring me flowers from your beautiful property.
I did.
And I was like, hey, why don't you come on the podcast? And you graciously agreed. So here
always.
we are.
Thank you. We always make magic happen.
We do. Julie, just so our listeners can get to know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Julie. I own JMP Interiors, founder, and it's based out of Ballston Lake, New York. So just around the corner from your office, really.
Right, yeah.
But I've been an interior designer for over 25 years. I graduated from Casanova College. And let's see, a little bit of background about my business. I've been on This Old House, George to the Rescue. I have clients in Italy and all over the country, but really a lot here. And I was just the president of the American Society of Interior Designers.
Huge honor.
It was beautiful,
Huge honor.
Beautiful term. I loved everything about it, connecting with our membership, because we're the third largest chapter in the country. People don't realize that. We're the only international one.
Okay,
so
wow, that's a big undertaking.
a lot of coordinating.
Wow.
A lot of Zooms.
Wow. Are you done with that role now? Or?
I am.
Okay.
I am. Yep.
You're smiling when you said that. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's like herding cats.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's some obstacles, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Trudge through.
You do. So tell us a little bit, like, what are your design projects that you like to do the most? What really inspires you?
Sure. That's a great question. And, for design projects I love to do, it's really about the project itself. So clients innately come to an interior designer because they have a problem. We need to fix and come up with a solution for said problem, whether it's the color in their home makes them feel a certain way, or their space is an odd transition, or they're not really sure how to fix something. So really it comes down to that specific project and that specific client. But my job is to tell their story and solve a problem all at the same time.
All at the same time. That can be challenging, right?
Yeah.
And then everyone's personalities, everyone's a little bit different, which, obviously can be hard to navigate.
It is. And I think in general, people don't realize how many filters they have when they say, Julie, I don't understand how to fix this. And then we start diving in. Oh, but I don't like that. Or I don't like rounds. I don't like curves. Okay. I don't like the color purple. Okay. So, you discover a lot more, and you identify with the emotion of the person. Because at the end of the day, we need to connect with our spaces that we're in, whether it's residential or commercial. And there's a lot of managing people and feelings in that. And that's the story I need to tell.
So let me ask you a question. When you sit down with clients and they say, I don't like purple, or I don't like round, or I don't like this, at the end of the project, has any of those things that they said they didn't like end up being there as you introduced it in your design and your vision?
Most of the time, actually, because the way I start with a project is I have a discovery call where we identify, okay, what is the reason you're calling me? But then let's deep dive into a little bit timeline, budget, all the things.
Right.
And then when we get there and I get into the space and now I'm conducting my measure and I'm checking on the lighting and all of the physical elements of the space, now I'm asking questions like, okay, so do you like bold color? Are you an ocean person or a mountain person? How do you organize? I want to know more about you, the client, so that I can understand triggers that may or may not work in this space.
Right.
And a lot of times, using the example purple, people think Grimace. I may have just dated myself, but McDonald's used to have Grimace, and everyone thinks either that or like Concord grape
Right.
purple. And it's
Right.
like, okay, well, let me show you the
Oh,
shades
there's
of
so
purple.
many different
So,
variations.
sometimes we have a vision, and that's why vision boards and mood boards are so important, because
Right.
I could say a word and someone thinks one thing, but showing them an image of what I mean
Hmm.
just helps close that gap on that
And you
communication.
do vision boards, right?
A lot.
I've seen a lot
Yeah.
of it. I follow you obviously on social media, so I see a lot of your work that you do, and I've seen your vision boards and different things that
Hmm.
you've put together for clients.
And it's a combination. I do a lot of the presentations in, PDF form or what have you, but then there's also those physical samples.
Right.
And one of the services my company provides is I'm coming into your home with samples. I'm not necessarily dragging you through showroom after showroom after showroom. I'm going to bring them into your space so we can see them in your
In
light,
your
in your
space,
room.
right?
And it's the comfort of your home. So now you can
Yes.
give me honest feedback and you don't feel like you have a million eyes in some showroom,
Right.
or it's
Right.
echoey and we can't have a private conversation.
Yeah, trying to pick something out.
Hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, vision boards definitely. I know for me personally, it helps because you're right. When you say purple, which I love purple, as a side note, you do think there's just
Yeah.
one color purple, but we all know there's thousands of the variation of purple. Let me ask, when you first walk into someone's home, what's the first thing that you notice that tells you how they live in their space?
That's a great question. I think it's a combination of how their wall decor is hung,
Oh, really?
the smell,
Okay.
and then visual chaos. What level of visual chaos am I dealing with? And those aren't positive or negatives, they're just first impressions.
Okay.
These are the first
Give
three
me an
things I notice.
example of visual chaos.
Visual chaos. If you have pets and they have their toys or cat scratch posts everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have kids and toddlers are notorious for throwing Legos everywhere,
Right.
or their toys are just kind of haphazard all over the
Right.
place.
Right.
If someone is a pile person, they just have their piles stacked on maybe a side table, their drop zone when they first walk in. I want to see that. I tell my clients, do not clean before I get there because I need to understand the type of human you are. I can shine a brown paper bag, but if it's
Right.
not the bag for you, then
Right.
it's not going to work
Right.
for your family. I need to see that flow, because if you are a pile person, then giving you drawers to put things in, you're never going to use the darn
Right.
drawers.
Right. Right.
So then that's
Just
going to
give
be a
them more
waste of money.
tables.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go with baskets.
Yeah, or baskets.
Baskets
Okay.
had a lot of
I
sense.
stand corrected. I think I need a basket for my dog's toys. They're all over. Yeah. We're going to jump into holiday decor because we are into December. When it comes to holiday decor, what's the easiest way to make your home feel festive without going full Santa exploded in the living room?
I think there's a couple of things going on there, and I did write about it in a free downloadable on my website right
Yeah.
now. There's 12 different points in the free downloadable you can find on jmpinteriors.com, but a couple of those are: one, create that signature scent, because the holidays are all about creating memory, nostalgia, connecting with the people that we love and we want to spend that quality time
Right.
with. And a lot of times that relates to a scent. And that could be everything from pine tree scent to apple pie to pumpkin
Oh,
pie.
yeah. Okay.
So what do you associate scent wise with the holidays? Have that scent going in your home, whether it's a diffuser or a candle. Another thing to not break the budget, stick with greenery. Garlands,
Right.
wreaths, just small little tablescapes of cute little bud vase and maybe some holiday pine sprigs in there. Because a lot of times around here, farms even have them for free on the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
So you can clip a few, put them in a little mason jar, put a pretty velvet bow on it. Velvet's one of the
Right.
trends
Velvet
of the
because of
season. And really just kind of style it. Probably the last thing I would say is focus on your powder bathroom
okay.
if you need to pick one room, because every guest is going to eventually need to use your powder bathroom.
Right.
So just small little touches in there to make it feel like you're trying to elevate that space, feel special and encouraged and welcome. But that would
Interesting.
be,
And you're not
yeah.
breaking the budget.
No. Mm-mm.
Interesting what you said about the greenery.
So
I'll have
instead
to
of
try
focus
that.
on, you know, if you're really trying to squeeze pennies, because let's be honest, everyone has a different budget, and
Right.
this time of year,
Yeah.
things are just really expensive, and we're trying to make our budget
Mm-hmm.
stretch. But don't worry so much about what color is the color of the season. Focus on that greenery, because the greenery can then take you into January. It could take you into the spring. So it can be out longer without having to have that Christmas
Right.
vibe.
To switch everything over. Yeah. I feel like you go from Christmas and to Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
and then you jump right in the spring.
Easter.
Yeah. Yeah. The greenery. That is a good point. Fresh, right? Fresh
or I mean, Amazon has some great options you could get like next day, and they look really great. I think the thing for finding greenery is make sure it has 3 different types of pine in it, even if it's
Okay.
faux, so that way you have a mix of needles and it tends to look a little bit more realistic.
Interesting. Look at that. We're all learning today from that. What holiday styling trends are you loving this year?
Holiday
and which one
styling
should be
trends.
left in the attic forever? I like that question.
I'll answer you the first part. Holiday styling trends, focus on a hero piece. So a post I made today on my social was find that one hero piece. So whether it's you want to focus on that mantle, it's meant so that when someone is walking into your room, their eye can land. And that's that one statement piece, and then the rest of your decor should complement that one hero piece. So if it's your tree, if it's your mantle, if it's a wreath or your table setting, everything else should be quietly contributing to the hero piece.
The one hero piece.
Yep.
So how would you determine what that would be? How would
When you walk in your room, what's your favorite part of the room? Is it your fireplace? Is it your dining room table? Is it your stairway? Some people, they may say it's their TV. Okay, so then style around your TV. Treat it kind of like a mantle. But find the one thing that your eye lands to. And if you're not sure what that is, if you squint your eyes a little bit when you go in the room, for those of us that have contacts, we don't need to worry about that. But you can go into a room, squint your eyes a little bit, and what's the thing that your eye always goes to when you go in that room? That's where your hero piece should be.
All right.
And then style around that.
I'm going to try that.
Now,
That's good. What happens if you don't have like an open concept?
Thank God. I'm so tired of the open concept. That needs to go away, by the way. That's a whole nother subject.
Would it be the living room? Would it be the family room?
Well, I think with open concepts, it's more of, you almost have a duality there, right? So a lot of open concepts, and let's use the family room and the kitchen, because that's usually pretty exposed and open together. Treat them for different spaces. So you usually have to turn either your head or your body to look in one area or the other. Very rarely are you going to stand and see both spaces together, even though peripherally they do exist.
Right.
So treat them separate. So the family room, maybe that's where the tree is. In the kitchen, maybe you're styling around your range hood or a slider door, or you're setting up that charcuterie board on the island, things like that.
All right. Interesting. For people hosting this season, what are your go-to tips to make the home feel warm and inviting, even on a budget?
Well, that's a great question. I do want to comment on your question before, which was which trend or holiday item should be left in the attic. Anything with tinsel.
This year,
Never
it may come back. So you mean that pink
tinsel.
tinsel that's sitting around, get rid of
Pink tinsel, the tinsel that used to be garland that people would wrap around their stairways or like their, that can just, or the hang tinsel that you blew into your tree.
Yeah, that you pick and
again,
just
I may have just dated myself, but that used to be a thing.
Yeah, there's some people that have a younger age are probably like, what is tinsel?
If you're old enough to be allowed to watch Scrooge,
We're looking over.
It was in all of the trees at that time frame.
I used to love the tinsel, especially that you pick it up and you just
It
kind
would
of
zap
throw
me.
it.
It would like electrocute me every time. Like,
really?
You got to zap. Yeah, shock. Yeah. Anyway.
No wonder why you don't like tinsel.
I have an issue with tinsel.
All right. Note to self: if Julie comes over, get rid of the tinsel.
Get rid of the tinsel. But your question about what holiday trends this year am I really loving? I'm loving velvet ribbon. It's just so elegant. You can absolutely elevate any greenery by even the thin ribbon. It doesn't need to be a big showy bow. Right. A delicate, simple ribbon is really pretty, easy to get. Usually you can find them on sale now because
stock up for next
stores
year.
are already marking things down. And then I think the other thing that's a big trend this year is really making sure your foyer or entry is kind of setting the tone for your client. Well, I say clients, but your company to come in and be welcomed into your home. So maybe that's where you have your candle. Maybe it's a little monogram item. Maybe it's a little dish with some holiday candies, just something to really set your entryway up to welcome your guests into your home that sets the stage for the rest of your color palette.
Okay. Interesting. And for people that have smaller homes, let's say a ranch, 1,200 square feet, how are you, setting like the entry? Because when you walk in there, there's really not a lot of room to be a hero space.
Actually,
So
I
designing
would
around those
argue with that
small-
in that how you style it, because you can take a plant stand, we can have a little basket on there, we could have a little candle. So you make it a really special, intentional vignette to really capture the eye, to really ground. It's just something little that says, welcome to my space. I'm happy you're here. Please come in.
And this is why you're so good at what you do. That's
Well,
it.
thank you.
You have a solution for everything. I do want to touch base, though, for our viewers. Right? We've known each other close to 10 years now.
Yes.
And I had met you during the Showcase of Homes. You were one of the designers, or you were the designer.
2016. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've been friends ever since. And you talked about Boston. You had just moved here from Boston.
Yep.
Right? And you did a lot of salons and everything there. And look
Yeah.
at, here you are now.
Yeah. What was it? I guess 15 years ago or so, I designed every salon on Newbury Street. I had clients on the Cape building back then. That was the start of the boom of the McMansions that are down there now.
Yeah.
And then the clients that were out in the Berkshires. So, yeah.
And you keep yourself busy. I do want to touch base on your new home and your new venture with the flowers and everything. I know we were talking a little bit off camera, off mic before we started, but it's just beautiful what you do. And you sell, you sell your flowers. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Sure. My cut flower farm, during COVID, we relocated to a different school district to better support our son who has a little bit of a learning disability. And when we did that, we moved to a property that has 16 acres. And through COVID, I had just had our youngest, who's now 5, but I wasn't able to go into anybody's home as an interior designer, and I needed to, just for my own mental sanity, do something. So I started growing seeds. I had never really planted anything before, and it became just this thing I latched onto, and I needed to grow everything that could grow in our zone. So I just started having all these plants all over the place. And when we moved to our new home, my husband built me a 55 by 75 garden, and now I do flowers for weddings and private events. I will grow seeds for the bride for her color scheme, specifically in an area of our garden that she can come and watch them grow and then take photos in before the wedding, before everything gets cut for her ceremony.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that. See, that's something new we learned today.
Yeah.
Wow,
so
that really makes that special.
Oh, yeah. Everything is in that area for that wedding. So I have over 3,000 dahlia. I have over 85 rose bushes. I have over 75 peony. I think I have about 35-ish perennial mums.
Wow.
And then really what gets grown in the cut flower area is everything the deer, rabbit, or chipmunks would want to eat. So, but it's all cut flowers. I start everything from seed. Everything's organic. And right now I have 6 different types of eucalyptus started and 12 different types of lisianthus, which kind of looks like a rose.
Right. How do people find if they go on the JMP Interiors website? Will they find information there about?
They will do that. I think more right now it was on Instagram. So I need to add more to the website. Okay. Layers, Lisa. Layers.
Yeah. Well, we're going to make sure we have all of your contact information and social media handles. Everything will be embedded, in the show, so people can certainly find you. Sorry for going off the rails there,
totally
but
fine.
That's a huge undertaking, and I wanted to be sure that people knew.
Oh yeah, and we do weekly bouquets. We do flowers for restaurants, little bud vases at tables. I've done bud mitzvahs and all little celebrations of life, baby showers, you name it.
Yeah,
so
that's nice. You did showcase
Yep.
The
Yep.
awards night.
Yeah, the
That
ceremony
was,
awards
yeah, a
night.
big undertaking for 300 plus people. That was,
The hardest part about that though was I didn't account for the way at that venue they have stage lighting
right.
with different colors. Well, the colors of the lights rendered the flowers differently. So I selected colors based on the theme of the
theme.
showcase. And then when we got in there, the colors of the lights rendered my flowers differently. I mean, they still look great.
Right.
But I was irritated as a designer. I'm going, gosh darn it. Like, I planned that to pop. Now you don't even see it.
And everyone was like, the flowers are beautiful.
Yeah, they
so
did.
You were looking at it from a different way, and
Yeah.
everyone, I heard all the compliments and everything. So yeah, that was a great job. So Julie, you mentioned earlier that you have a downloadable
Yes, style guide, a holiday style guide,
right, on your website. But you do have your holiday styling guide. What inspired you to do that?
I get a lot of questions from my own existing clients. A lot of times they send me a text message, how do I style this space? And they just want to dress it up for their family or guests coming in. And usually it's a forgotten hallway or the entryway, powder room. We don't necessarily want to spend a lot of money on those places, but we want, other than just
touch.
buying a little hand towel, what else can I do in those spaces? So it really came down to that, and then collecting what is this year's kind of go-to little tricks and tidbits. So it's 12 tips to design to decorate like a designer for the holiday season.
That's great. And I know before we were talking, you did say you already have on your website the 2026 design trends.
I'm going to be adding that. So I'm going to be writing a blog and then a free downloadable that is the 2026 design trends. And then each month I'll go into depth on one trend at a time by visiting showrooms, doing a little video and reviewing.
Yeah.
Because there's lighting trends, there's paint trends, there's furniture trends, there's decor trends,
And what's our color trend for 2026?
You will find out.
Our color of the year.
I think that depends on whose color of the year you're going by.
Oh, okay.
Because Pantone has one, Benjamin Moore has one, Sherwin-Williams has one. All the paint companies have their version. So depending on what you're using.
Is that like the
Cloud something?
Yeah.
Cloud catcher or something like that.
Which is white.
It's stupid.
I think
that's my opinion.
How do you really feel about that color, Julie? I think I looked at it. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what that looks like.
I can't wait to be in a hospital.
Yeah, it's a variation of a white.
Yeah.
I'm like...
Now, I love white. I'm not saying white is not good, but for crying out loud, if I wanted to go to a hospital, I'd go to a hospital.
Right.
I don't want to be surrounded by white walls.
Yeah.
Or, anyway, that's another topic for another time, I guess.
All right. And lastly, for fun, what's the one design rule you'd love to break during the holidays, or one rule you think everyone should stop following?
I'm going to go with the first part of the question, which is what design rules should they break? And this can actually apply any time of year, but specifically around the holidays. And I'll tell you why. And it comes to an heirloom piece or the collectibles that we've either kept from childhood. They're sentimental. They probably look like hell, but we put them out anyway because they remind us of our grandma or what have you. So for me, I know it's totally not what maybe other people would collect, but I collect those ceramic trees that have the little lights on them.
Oh, yeah.
Like the ones that maybe your mom or grandma made. Yeah. Like they're vintage at this point. They're cracked. I mean, some of them don't even work.
I still have one from my parents that is fully intact.
But... does that go with any of the trends? Absolutely not. But the way you take something like that doesn't go by any trend, but you love it anyway.
Right.
Put it out, but make it a collection. So nutcrackers is another really good example. Some people really collect a lot of nutcrackers or snow globes. Make a collection out of them instead of trying to fan it all out so that way it reads as intentional. If we try to take something that is kind of off color or not really our style anymore and spread it throughout, it just looks like a hodgepodge of decor. Where if you take that collection and, maybe you have 12 nutcrackers, great. Find an area that you can create a really great display, but now it reads as a collection as opposed to helter-skelter. Right.
That's a good tip. That's a really good tip. Now I'm sitting here going, I have my snowmen all over.
And some
I'm
people,
going to
it's
go home and
angels.
restyle.
And it's okay to, I shouldn't say you can't mix it throughout the room, but make sure that if you're going to mix it out, you have enough of them together so it reads as a collection.
Right.
So that way, if, let's say you have 50 nutcrackers, you put, 5 over here, style in odd numbers. So it always looks more cohesive in odd numbers. So take odd numbers here, odd numbers there. But that way they read as pops of a collection as opposed to random all over the place.
Interesting. Style and odd numbers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people probably go with even, correct? So everything is balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we're learning a lot today.
Say this.
You're going to come back, right? We're going to have you back. What do you want to talk about on the next podcast?
I think the next podcast absolutely would be those trends for 2026. There's a lot of different things coming in, and some of them are very opposing, so they can be very confusing to someone just trying to style their home or have a fresh take, because we're talking cloud catcher is one, which is a variation on a white, but then maximalism in color is another trend coming in. So
what color is that?
No, maximalism, think very saturated, very jammy, like rich patterns and over the top. So those are naturally conflicting. So it could be tricky to be able to pair that. And that's why it's kind of like when you think about fashion, like on a runway.
Right.
There's a whole lot that comes out for trends. That doesn't mean all of them are going to stick with you, but we got to pick and choose
which one that you like.
And then make it applicable to our spaces.
All right. Well, wonderful. We're going to get you back on in January. Is there anything that you want to mention that we maybe have missed in this particular podcast?
I think the only thing that I would say is don't be afraid to reach out to a qualified interior designer. Every designer runs their business differently. Some have minimums for what they'll take. I don't. I'm just hourly.
Right.
And I have different ways I can work with a client. But just like when your tooth hurts, you go to a dentist. If you're stuck in your home, find a good interior designer, a true interior designer to be able to help you, because someone will.
Yeah. And I know you will, of course. Do you want to tell our listeners how they can get a hold of you? And we're also going to put your contact information in our show notes.
Sure. Yep. You can review my website. It's jmpinteriors.com. My email is julie@jmpinteriors. And then my cell phone, 570-401-4402. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and my Google business page.
All right. Wonderful. And we'll make sure that's all in the show notes. And Julie, thank you so much for coming in. Get you in maybe end of January, beginning of February.
Sure.
We'll book that before you leave.
Love it.
That will be great. I can't wait to have you back. And that concludes another episode at Real Talk with Sterling Real Estate Group. Thank you. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Real Talk with Sterling Real Estate Group. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. If you have any questions about real estate or topics you'd like us to cover, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us at info@sterling518.com.